It's the Tour of Love, and it is our Sunday show. We are now the third week of having a Sunday show, and that is after the 36-hour event that took place at the beginning of the month. I was going to say the year, but that's not quite yet. So I have joining with me today, we have to my left would be Caroline Brown, one of our senior ambassadors. She is also one of the assistant producers for this show and the Service Hero show. She does a lot of other things. Oh my goodness, she just keeps rolling. So grateful. And then we have Susan Birch. Many of you know Susan. Susan has been she has been out there in the world fighting for the rights and sharing the, if you will, good news of what is happening in the world that has to do with cancer and childhood cancer, working alongside with many of the doctors there at St. Jude's. And we're going to talk about that story. It's pretty incredible. Also, she is one of the sponsors of the Tour of Love. We're going to be talking about that today, and her company that so excited about it. However, I'm not going to give that up quite yet. So how are both of you this bright and wonderful Sunday?
Doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having us, Tamara.
Absolutely. How are you doing, Carol? Are we Carol or Caroline today? I always wonder.
Today we're Caroline.
Caroline. She's always changing it on us.
I just have to do that just for Tamara.
Yeah,
but I'm doing fabulous.
Oh, good. And I love the Santa hat. In fact, I looked for mine. It's somewhere. I know. I'm hoping it's not in a storage somewhere. So, Stephen Smith from Sarasota, Florida. Many of you on the E360 TV platform know Stephen. He is one of the hosts of actually a couple of shows. So glad you're with us. And he's also one of our volunteers. Very happy to see you. We have the first ambassador of the chat, Helene Wilson. I was corrected the other day. She is the senior ambassador now of the chat. And Carol, or Caroline, whatever name she was going on by that day, she's the one that named her our senior ambassador. So, we are going to be talking today about what it is. This show, The Tour of Love, is all about raising the vibration and the frequency of the world through a 4-letter word, love. And it was started because of a group, a community, a nonprofit, a 501c3 by the name of Chemo Buddies for Life. We're known as cb4l.org. And that community of people, of volunteers, of buddies, came up with it. We have chats. We are very close. We're a very tight-knit group. And we were talking about the year of love, 2020. And then we decided, yes, the decade of love. And then it was, we need to go on a tour of love, pre-COVID. So we were actually planning for a true tour and having it wrap up with the Love It Festival, to be named at another time now. So, in true buddy form, we decided we could do this virtually. And so now we went on the Tour of Love for the 36-hour yearly give-a-thon that the third year we've had. We named it the Tour of Love, and then we announced to the world that we are continuing. So that's the history of why we're here, what we're doing. And I want to recognize that we have some more people showing up. I'm not quite sure who yet. We have quite a few that are here with us, and grateful that you're participating. Yes, hashtag Chemo Buddies for Life. And we go with the number 4, life.
And we are live on E360.
Thank you very much for checking. So nice having an assistant producer right here with me to tell me we're good. So, all right. Well, Susan, we're going to start with this. You you were told a while ago that someone in your family was diagnosed with cancer, a chapter in their life, literally. Okay, guys, a chapter. Okay, there's something to this. A chapter in their life, right?
Absolutely, yes. My daughter, when she was 10 years old, was diagnosed with brain cancer.
With brain cancer. I have a clip we're going to play, and then afterwards we're going to talk about this because, you know how inspiring your daughter is. She truly is.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hamilton with Remax by Celia and the Discover team with Chase Birch today. No longer Birch because you got married. What's your last name?
My last name is now Marmaleo. So when I was 10 years old, I was diagnosed with medulloblastoma, which means I had a cancerous tumor at the base of my brain. I was rushed off in an emergency surgery and to our local children's hospital where I had the emergency surgery, and there, once they figured out what everything was, they sat my parents down and told them, you know, here's the diagnosis, here's the treatment, she's going to have to be isolated, no school, no friends, no siblings. They basically told them everything that not could go wrong, but that would go wrong, and all these things that were going to happen to me. And as soon as they left the room, my mom just turned to my dad and said, this is not our only option. You go find the best place for our little girl.
That's what she said, and that's the day I met her mom. She told me that story, and I sobbed like a baby. I went to St. Jude.
Yes, we went to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital,
yes,
where I received 6 weeks of radiation and 4 months of chemotherapy.
Okay, and you're a permanent St. Jude patient forever, because that's part of the gig. Once you go to St. Jude,
yeah,
you sign up for life.
Yeah.
And that's how they've really made headway with a lot of these children cancers that help adult cancers too. But I want to talk to you about how just your journey has been amazing. She was the spokesperson, the national spokesperson, chosen by Marlo Thomas. How fun is that?
It's pretty fun.
It's very awesome, right? And so she's gotten to meet a lot of wonderful people, but you and your mom did a co-founding organization that really helped kids.
Yes, definitely. We started Hats and Hair from Kids Who Care, which is where we donate hats and fundraising items and comfort items to children and families going through a hard time. And so the way we started this was when I was diagnosed with cancer, and then when we were treated at St. Jude, I lost my hair during radiation, and I was just wearing a baseball cap because my wigs were just itchy and I didn't like them very much, and I really only wore them to church. And then my friends back home, they were wanting to do a fundraiser for me to get wigs, and when we were at the wig shop, my mom grabbed a hair clip and she put it on a just a baseball cap and said, hey, this looks like a ponytail. So I basically put that on and didn't take it off. And when I heard that my friends were wanting to donate a wig to me, I said, I already have wigs, and I think other kids need this more than I do. And so we came up with Hats and Hair from Kids Who Care, so that my friends back home could raise money and donate baseball caps, so that we could create this and give out hats and comfort items to kids in need.
This is still going strong. How many have you given out so far? Do you know?
Oh,
any idea? Thousands and thousands. Love it. So we're going to get information on that to you on the post. But I did want to talk to you quickly because now you've written a book.
Yes, we have.
She's an author. So what's the book called, and how can people get it, and basically what is it?
Yeah. So myself and a number of authors, we shared our personal stories about overcoming obstacles, and it's called Mastering Our Mountains. So I share my story in there of going to St. Jude, and one of the ways I was really able to find joy in the situation was and really my whole support and everyone was, I was called Supergirl, and so I really brought the superhero
I
aspect.
remember that. Yes.
Yeah,
so
so
fun.
I decided that my treatments were actually because I was becoming a superhero, and that like the reason I was going to lose my hair is because I was going to have shape-shifting ability, so I could change my appearance, and I could.
Isn't that not the best? I love that.
Yeah, I decided that MRI machines were actually time machines, and so I would I'd have to tell my mom a story each time I came out.
And I just thank you for doing this today.
Yeah.
And how do people get that book?
So it's on Amazon right now, so you can get it as the ebook or the physical book, and we would love to have you do that.
Mastering Mountains.
Mastering Our Mountains.
That is such an awesome name. Thank you so much.
Yes.
And she's missing. Seasoned Birch should be here in just a moment. Okay, well, as soon as I see her, there she is. So, Season, Hawaii Way Publishing is the publisher of Mastering Our Mountains, and also one of our sponsors of the Tour of Love. Thank you for being a sponsor. So tell us more about this, because yes, this is the book that we actually did the rollout as we were preparing for the Tour of Love, and it wasn't by accident, because actually one of the chapters is my chapter. One of the chapters, when I was saying chapters in her life, is Chase's. She's in this book too. And this project actually started a couple of years ago, and originally it was going to look different. It ended up being perfect as far as I'm concerned for everything that we're doing right now. Why don't we talk about that?
Wonderful. Yeah, it is amazing, because this book, the way that it came about, we had gathered, both you and I had spoken on a stage, I remember, and it was a beautiful seminar that we had gone to and participated in. And then we all gathered together and decided we needed to write a book and take these inspiring stories from the stage. And a few of the people that had attended, and they wanted to come together and, put these stories together, these inspirational stories. And then in the meantime, I was also gathering stories for another project, and they meshed together so well that finally we brought them all together. And like I said, I think exactly what you said, it came out at the exact perfect time. And, it's dedicated to a dear friend who passed away, who was also part of the, in the book. And the cover it looks so much like him standing on top of that mountain and in the heavens. So it's such a beautiful book, and the stories that came together meshed together so well. And so many of them are cancer journeys, at least that's part of their journey. So it just goes so far, along with the Chemo Buddies for Life, and, what you do to support people, and, just the Tour of Love, that's what we're trying to put into the world too. So, yeah.
So thank you for that. And it was a wonderful process learning about the publishing world. And because I had no clue, you hear, okay, you need a good editor, you need a good this, you need that, because there's a lot of different, stages in the publishing process. And I had no clue. And what I've learned from you, and I'd love for you to talk about this a little bit more, is that there are ways of self-publishing. Then there are ways of going through like the, publishing houses. And then there's like the boutique kind of hybrid type publishing. Am I correct?
Absolutely. Yep. So you have your big publishers, and people, they obviously, a lot of them want to go through the big publishers. There's pros and cons with each type of, ways that you can publish. Big publisher, you might get some more publicity out of it. But, when I was looking to publish my book, and that's how I ended up starting my company, is I had a few publishers who were looking at my transcript and had shown interest in it. So I was really researching if that's the route I wanted to take. And, the more and more I spoke to other authors that had gone through large publishing houses, they weren't happy that they couldn't choose the cover. They had sold their rights to the book. They also, just weren't as participatory. They could edit it how they wanted to, just all of that. They kind of lost the reins of their book. And so that was the con. And so I started looking at the different ways you could publish outside of the big houses and publishing houses. And what I found was that there are basically, you can do it yourself. self-publish. There are vanity publishers who basically just take the book that you hand them and throw it together and slap a cover on it and say, here you go. And then there's like more of, like you said, boutique specialty publishers that are more hybrid, that take from all aspects of that. And I wanted to try to create something that was the best of all worlds. And, that's hard to do, but I'm trying my best to do that and give the people who are contributing to the book, the authors, so that they feel like it's a partnership and they get to make a lot of the choices themselves. They get to be fully aware of all aspects of the book. They get to be, part of the editing. I wanted to have very high quality editors, because that's the problem with vanity publishing, is they just throw it together and you have misprints and you have spelling errors, and you don't have that high quality publishing or editing like you would in the larger house publishing companies. And I wanted really high quality cover artists to work with as well. And I had pulled together a great team and helped a few of my other friends to publish their books as well. And once I realized I had this great team that, and I had people approaching me all the time, I decided, well, I guess I've started a publishing company. And anyway, but the publishing company is Hawaii Way Publishing, which is health and wealth and inspired ideas. And I just say that I will publish what inspires me. So that is, I've done everything from, or our company has everything from raw food chef cookbook to
really?
inspired. Wow. Yeah, it's a great. But we've done just novels. We have done, but what I really like is inspirational stories. I really love to put people's stories out there, and these collaborative books are fantastic. Right now, people just don't have time, to read 300 pages. So it's really nice when they can just sit down and read a chapter that's inspiring, and they can move on in their day and take that with them. I love these kind of books.
Well, I loved the experience. It was incredible. I want to say thank you for including me in the book. I am
Yours was one of my favorite chapters. It was beautifully written, and you're just such an inspiration, Tamara. And things that I had that you haven't really shared as much as you do share. You share very little of yourself. You share all of yourself and very little of your story. So
yeah. More is to come
for people to learn more about you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, more is to come. This was a real breakthrough for me to do this. I want to say, because when you tell your raw truth and you really put it out there in publishing, there is something about that. And I figured if I was going to be involved in this, I needed to put the truth out there in a way that would also inspire. Yes, would inspire to say, okay, I've been there and I've done that, and you can too. You can get through it. We can get through this together. And that's what I love about this. So we've got some exciting news that is going to be coming out here soon in regards to the next step with this book, right?
Absolutely, yeah, and I'm so excited to hear yours. Is what I should say. We do have the Audible book that's going to be coming out quite soon. Hopefully, you'll be here for the first of the year. I think this is the perfect book to start your year with, because it, like we said, it's very inspirational, great stories, things that we can take with us, and really, we all know that 2021 has got to be a better year, and we're going to move into it with that optimism. And so this, this type of inspirational, these stories can really help motivate you. And hearing the authors read them in their own voice and, speak their truth, and it's just a beautiful thing. It adds so much. I mean, I love to read the chapters, but it's been so exciting to hear the authors, say their own stories. So the Audible book should be fantastic. It's great to have them.
I'm looking forward to it myself. And so I want to say thank you again for being a sponsor of the Tour of Love, Hawaii Way Publishing. You are just amazing. And you're going to stick around with us to, shift gears. And we're going to talk about stories, yes, and inspiring stories. And what is it that we talk about? Well, this show is a show that is dedicated to healing through connections. And so we're going to be talking about that in just a moment. we have Caroline Brown back with us. And Caroline, don't you have a book that you've been working on?
Yes, I have a poem book that I've completed.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And
now it's just putting it together.
Absolutely. And that's where, having a segment where we hear from a dear friend, everybody, in our community knows Season because she is, she's been with us since nearly the beginning, and I appreciate that so very much. Carl Wilson, good to see you this morning. I want to say thank you. Do you know Carl Wilson? He's just sharing the love with All Women Rock, and here soon he's going to be on Service Heroes because he sent me something. I'm kind of excited about it. So I want to shout out to you and say thank you. And being a writer is awesome, Helene. Helene is also in the midst of writing a book, and we're going to let her tell us about it at some point in time. And I want to just say thank you, everyone that is tuning in to be with us and to share the love on the tour of love. Now, Carol, you shared with us and with the buddies. You work very closely with our buddies. And we, in previewing this show, I wrote that we were going to talk about what is it like to be a buddy. And I've got a couple of clips. And Season, I want you to also chime in because you come from the fact that you have been around the kids, if you will, and now like in the segment with your daughter, and she shared that once a St. Jude's kid, always a St. Jude's kid, like Wish Kids, once a Wish Kid, always a Wish Kid. And I that's beautiful. And yes, we have so many advances and so much good news that is happening out there. And that's one of the things we really want to promote through this show is that this is real, and many people are in the middle of the realness. However, we've got a lot of support and a lot of good stories, a lot of good things that are happening. And Carol, I'm going to start with one. We're going to share the clip, and this is one of the buddies that you've really gotten to know. And I mean, talk about being a cheerleader. I'm always hearing about the accomplishments and how things are going, and it's so exciting to be able to cheer on the, when you overcome this, and then you get to that milestone, you get to there, and to have that community and that love. So let's share this clip, and then we'll go and tell the story.
Let's see, back in August, I noticed that I had a lump, which ended up being cancer. And so in November, I had a lumpectomy, and it's been a journey. We also found that there was a precancerous polyp during a colonoscopy, and I recently started chemotherapy. I've had 2 out of 6 of my chemotherapy treatments. I really and truly believe that Christians suffer differently because we know the Lord and we are blessed by the Lord, and we know that there is that hope. We know that we have a God that we can turn to who says it is well. And even though we are suffering, we're blessed. And I recently read on Facebook that we're not buried, we're planted. And so I really and truly feel that during this situation, I've been planted, and the Lord is going to bless me with cancer, as I mean, as possibly horrible as that sounds, I've been blessed with cancer. This is going to make me a better nurse. This is going to make me a more empathetic and sympathetic individual. And people see me every day, and based on where I work, it's pretty obvious what's going on right now, and yet people can see, she's still happy. She's still cheerful. And people go, well, what's going on? I said, I'm blessed. I'm blessed by the Lord. And so I can be a testimony even in this time. And the Lord will guide this how he guides it, and it will be how it will be. But I choose each day I wake up how I'm going to be.
And
Wow.
before we start talking about Linda, I want to make this one comment, and that is, we are a nonprofit at cb4l.org, and we support the patients and those people that love and support them. We support the community, and the community has all sorts of different belief systems and are from all over the world. So we do not take a stand on one belief system over another belief system. What we do is we stand with arm in arm, hugs to hugs with those, and how they choose to believe and what choices they actually make in treatment also. And so I wanted to share that, and so that everybody understands this was something that was very heartfelt from Linda, and very happy that she shared it with us. Carol, you've gotten to know her, haven't you?
Mm-hmm. Linda and I became friends outside of our community, and I cheer her on all the time. Linda's had cancer twice, 2 different times in 2 different years. And this second time that she got cancer, she lost the ability to walk. And I don't know, it was about 3 or 4 months ago, she was going, pool, the exercise in the pool, getting the therapy that way through water to help her muscles in her legs. And one day she posted a video of her walking down 16 stairs. And I was her biggest cheerleader. Like, I was like blown away how positive this woman is. She brings the light to someone who, has a disease that doesn't stop her, and I cheer her on all the time. Her markers went down too, which was huge. I mean, she just keeps pushing and pushing to bring herself back to, what she was before she got cancer. Mm-hmm. So I am her biggest cheerleader, and I will continue to cheer her on.
And that's what it's all about, right? We're there for each other. And yes, you've gotten to know her within the community and outside of the community. And Susan, you've seen this a lot, haven't you? Throughout, you've traveled as your daughter. She stated, yes, she got to get to know Marlo Thomas, and she was picked from St. Jude's. That meant you actually went along there too, and you actually went on the speaking circuit a bit too, and have been out there and gotten to know people. And when we first met and we talked about the concept of buddies and how important it is, what was your thought in regards to it?
Well, I just remember having a parent, when we were trying to choose where to go, we were trying to find the best place in the world to take our daughter. A parent called us who had gone through the experience, and they buoyed us up and made us feel like we were making the right decision, and that meant everything to us. And we have stayed friends with them since. They gave us their experience, and they were, held our hand through that. When we went to the hospital, we basically were living there for almost 8 months. And while we were on campus, we called it, I had so many good friends going through the same experience, and those outside that also reached in and tried to be there as much as they could. And truly, when one of us would be down, the other would lift. And that really helped get us through. I don't know how we would have done it without having our buddies that, were there for us during that time. We always say it made a miserable experience the best it could possibly be.
I love that. Wow, that's great. And Colleen is saying, thank you, Carol, for being there for Linda. I appreciate you for being there for the buddies. Sincerely, Helene. I love it. And God is definitely sending his blessings to you, sweet Helene Wilson. And, Randy, our thoughts are with you and love you. One of our on the e-magazine team, and I call her the teacher because she you send her something over and it's like it's redlined and it's fixed and everything, like, because she has a master's in English and she is a teacher, retired as an English teacher. Amazing person. And so we actually have two of our buddies that spend some time talking about what it was like for them and the process of buddies, because people ask all the time, what is it like? And so here are two buddies that are actually buddies with each other, and we usually don't talk about this in public. This is usually behind closed doors. However, they gave us permission, and when we filmed this, they knew that this would be going out into the public. So here we go.
She's all like, hey, do you want a buddy? And I'm like, what's a buddy? She's like, yeah, like somebody to be able to talk to relate to you. It's a part of this chemo program. So that way, sometimes you just want to let off some steam and talk to somebody who knows what you're going through. Answer questions that you would have never been able to find out by yourself, And so I was like, yeah, sure, I'm open to it. Okay. And she did. So she introduced me to Sherry. And it was pretty cool, at first, I got a little awkward of like, hey. And, just questioning about each other. And then, slowly but surely, there's a couple of rough times, like when I experienced my first moments of survivor's guilt, and I had no idea, what to title that emotion, and I explained it to Sherry, and she's just like, honey, this is what it is. And it's one of those things where she's been in the shoes, and it's like a light that goes off in your head of like, wow, I'm trying to explain it to my husband, and he just didn't really understand. He's there, he's supportive, but sometimes it's all about that somebody who's been there that can understand on different levels. And I'm truly grateful to have someone like you, Sherry, in my life, because I don't know how I would be handling certain things right now if you didn't shine a light on any of them and just checking in on me every now and then. And I thank you.
You're welcome. I love you. I actually found Chemo Buddies through my wigs. Actually, one of our sponsors, Heather Dye. She has a wig company online, and she was doing a fundraising event for Chemo Buddies, and for me, it's like I'd found my purpose. I'd found my home. I'd found my family. It's like Ariel said, it's totally different with everybody here. It's your family loves you and supports you, but this is a way different kind of level of support. And that's what I found here, and I've loved it ever since. And I have a couple of buddies, and with Ariel, it's different with each one of them. But you do, and in the very beginnings, it's like you're testing the waters of a friendship. You know, it's little by little. You find out a little bit here, a little bit there. You open up a little bit more and open up a little bit more. And then it's just like, she's part of me. She's part of my life. And she lifts me up just as much as I lift her. Because like I said, when I see her in those videos and the time to move that she's doing, that kind of strength and endurance on your chemo, it's inspiring. It makes me want to go get up and go do something. So it's a bond it's CB for life. You are my CB for life.
Definitely.
Girl, I love you.
I found a spiritual understanding. Thanks to Chemo Buddies, my spirit felt lifted. I felt more open. You know, everybody has their chocolate days, like Cameron said before in the past. And you know, sometimes all I want to do is just roll up in the corner and do nothing but listen to all the chats. You know, or sometimes like I have like some good news and I'm just like, oh my god, I want to tell somebody who understands something. And because like thanks to the Chemo Buddies, thanks to this chat and everything, I've kind of found that, you know, being able to find a community that is so open-hearted and loving and everything.
Like you, I've had a spiritual change as well. I mean, the connection, not just with you, like you said, with all the buddies, with the whole community, with everything that it stands for and everything that it's going to be. It's inspiring in itself.
Yeah.
It's like Ariel said, I know when I'm having a bad day, that my best thing to do is to get with her or with my other buddies, or like she said, jump on the chat. Because as soon as you say, I'm not feeling right, I'm not feeling good, everything stops. And everybody is there to support you 150%. Everything just stops and you're okay. We make sure that our buddies are okay. That's what we do. The bond, it's just, the bond is beyond, yeah.
On and off camera, no matter what. It can start off camera, it can start on camera, but it's always going to end off camera, making sure that we're okay.
Yes.
Oh, I got wearing my hat. Yeah, I know it doesn't quite fit. I think it's an elf hat. So you know, that's a little longer. However, I wanted to be able to share what is it really that a buddy is all about, because people have asked me forever about it, and a lot of what we do, because of the nature of the fact that people are affected by cancer and everything, we want to be very respectful. We protect our community. And in fact, I've got one of my security guards right here with me. That is also one of Caroline's deals. You really do help in that category. And another thing, and what I wanted us to do, is that every single time we get together, we have a moment where we have silence, we share the love and whatever our thought process is, and so that we can all gather together, and the power of the healing that can take place can be emotional, mental, physical, whatever it may be, and it's science that proves this. And that's a really big thing for you, and you actually have helped to also put in the posts and everything whenever anybody is in need of extra love, right?
Mm-hmm. I talk to a lot of buddies, you know, and you know, when I see, you know, just if there's a negative post out there, okay, what's going on, you know, and then I'll pop in privately and have a conversation with them, and just, you know, have them turn their their thought or flip their mind into more of a positive mindset, which is, think of the happy times. What in the past that you can bring forward that made you happy, and just have them change that, because the more that we stay positive in the realm of lifting each other up, it makes a difference. It makes a difference for the buddies. It makes a difference even for myself, even though I'm just a support buddy. I've been through it on the side of my dad. I've been there for my little cousin, which actually had the same cancer as Season's daughter. Now that I couldn't say the name, but that's what it was. She had a tumor on the back of her brain and the spine. And, if we flip our mindsets and we look at more positive things and more happy things, it takes us out of that space of, oh, poor me, and I'm going through this and it's hard. And I get that. It isn't easy, but we need to spread the love. We need to spread the happiness between all of us.
Absolutely, we do. And so let's see, be gentle with yourself. Very well said, Helene. Okay, so I'm going to bring back Season here.
Season, greetings.
Greetings.
I like that. Exactly. Season greetings.
And humor is a huge healing piece of things, right? And we really, we have a lot of fun and we like to laugh, right? Everybody.
Absolutely.
And when one of the things I really wanted to go back to hats and hair from Kids That Care, the whole idea here too, we're talking about hats and we're joking around about them, my Christmas elf thing and everything like this, However, the truth of it is we need to be sensitive to those that do deal with cancer and the whole idea of the bald head, because now I yucked it up. I would laugh about it. I would make jokes about it because that's just my sense of humor. And so to me, I was the brunt of my own jokes, but it was all in good fun. And it was my way of laughing internally. But not everybody is that way. And one of the things that really affected me when I first met you and you told me about the nonprofit was that kids, that's one of the things that is the hardest for them, right?
Yeah, when we had started our nonprofit, but when we found out that the number one fear for children when they're diagnosed with cancer is not losing their life, it's losing their hair, then that upped our game. We were dedicated to getting this to, our hats and hair to as many children as possible. And, that's what we have done. We have tried to get out there and get these into their hands before they even need them. I remember one mom, they came and knocked on our door and said, "Are you the one who gives out the hats and the hair?" And we said, "We are, come in." And we let, her daughter came in, she was so excited. And we had a display case in our apartment. And, we had the hats all lined up so they could choose their hat. And then we had our hair clips on a backer board that was all lined up. And so they could come and they could choose the hair color they wanted. And I said, it's so fun because you don't even have to have the same hair color as you had. You can choose whatever you want. And so anyway, she was so excited. And, she still had this beautiful blonde hair down her back. And anyway, we came to our very last activity while we were at the hospital, and I looked around and it was a Halloween activity and all these little superheroes and beautiful little children running around in costume. And this mom came and tapped my shoulder and I turned around and she said, "Thank you so much. It came right in time." And the little girl lifted up her hat and she had this cute little ponytail and you couldn't tell at all, but she lifted up her hat and her hair was completely thinning. And they both had tears in their eyes. And there wasn't a better way to leave that hospital than being inspired that they were grateful that we had come up with this concept and we're able to make a difference. And then I looked around and saw all these other little girls wearing their hat and hair. And, that inspired us. And so now 13 years later, we still are donating. hats and hair and toys and crayons and everything else we can think of that are comfort items for these children and for their families as well, trying to do our support. So I'm so grateful for what you do to support the same community as, adults and children. So, yeah.
Well, thank you. And humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a whole lot of love. Well, we actually created a song, an anthem, if you will, that played on the very first hour of the big event. However, the version that I'm going to share right now is a beautiful rendition. And if you close your eyes when you're listening to this, it is in the key of the healing properties, because music, healing through music, is a really big part of our program too. We believe in it so very strongly. And here is our one of our board members, Skip Thomas, also now known as Poe, and Julie Christopher, one of the co-writers of the song.
Together we are stronger than sadness. Together we are stronger than cancer. Together we are stronger. We are one, we are love, we are hope, we are the ones to change the world with our hearts. We are one, we are love, we are hope, we are the ones to change the world with our hearts. Heal my hope, hearts, hearts, love, love, love. Heal my hope, hearts, hearts, love, love, love. Heal my hope, hearts, hearts, love, love, love. Heal my hope, hearts, hearts, love. We are one, we are love, we are hope, we are the ones to change the world with our hearts. We are one, we are love, we are hope, we are the ones to change the world with our hearts. We are the ones to change the world with our hearts.
So beautiful.
I love it. I love it. And Patty, I agree. I love it. And we are the ones. Yes, we are the ones, Carol. You're so right. And as we start to bring this together for our Sunday, I have to get my mug out. I said, get your mugs ready to go for, yes, and we do have a store. Shameless plug. And all proceeds go to the buddy. And so if you, there you go. If you would like to get one of our mugs, we have them, and so much more merchandise now at the cb4l.store. That is cb4l.store. And of course, since the Tour of Love is all about the raising the frequency of the world through love and supporting cb4l.org, you can get this Tour of Love merchandise there. Yes, love it. So as we start to bring this around, when you think of love and the Tour of Love and healing through connections, what are your words of wisdom that you would like to be sharing? Susan, why don't we start with you?
I think love is obviously one of the most powerful things. Love does heal. We don't always get to choose the outcome, but we get to choose how we go through, and we get to, choose how we love each other through the hard times. And that's exactly what I think Chemo Buddies is pulling people together to do that, to love each other through the hard times. And, there's so many ways you can heal, even if it's not physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And having that support and love for self and love for each other is just so incredibly important.
Oh, it's so true. So true. Carol.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Susan. And love, if we don't share it, how are we going to experience it? So, throwing it out there and sharing it with the community, sharing it with the world, especially what we're going through right now with the word to be unknown. It has, well, I say the word of unknown because we're in complete lockdown here, so I don't get to go see my family, but we are going to do a streamline through the Christmas holidays and watch the kids. And that's my biggest thing of my love, is sharing my love with my grandkids, and sharing it with my buddies that I'm on the outside of the community with. I'm so grateful for that. So if we don't share that love, how are we going to know? Love is on the highest frequency on the board. So let's continue to keep sharing it.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
I love that. Carolyn, thank you for doing what you do, for sure. And what I was just going to add to what she said, that when we share our love, it only grows. It comes right back at you. Once you share your love, it comes back to you. So it's one of those things that you don't give it away. You get more than you usually give. So.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Lisa.
And I want to add to what you both have said about love and the buddies and healing through connections. And that is, if you know of someone right now, that is dealing with this 6-letter word, cancer, if you know someone that maybe has a family member that did deal with it and possibly gained their wings, or possibly is currently working through it, and it is a chapter in their life, such as mine. Mine was a chapter in my life. My cancer journey was only a chapter in my life. And I want to let you all know, we are here as a community of love. As a community of love with Chemo Buddies for Life. And in fact, so much so that I'm going to share a video that we share all the time. And then after that, we will then give you guys a kiss until next week. And so here you go.
Life is so fragile, and we're constantly reminded just how fragile life can be, especially when we or a loved one is told we have cancer. Cancer survivor myself, I can tell you, we still feel very alone in this journey.
There's a study that's been shown that patients who are socially isolated have a worse prognosis, have a worse outcome than patients who are socially interconnected.
Buddies for Life is a non-profit cancer support group for those whose life has been impacted by cancer. We'll match you with the perfect buddy. Humor, hope, heart, and hugs.
Humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a whole lot of love.
We're offering you a free membership, so please sign up today. Share this with your friends and family, and support this community in every way you can. No one should face cancer alone.
I am a Chemo Buddy for Life.
We are a Buddies Network.
No one does cancer alone.
Be a buddy.
And we are all here for you as a community of love.
We are Chemo Buddies for Life.
And if you've heard 3 words, you have cancer, for yourself or someone else, you belong with us at Chemo Buddies for Life.
Healing through connections.
So that is what we are all about. We are all about healing through connections and sharing the humor, the hope, the heart, the hugs, and a whole lot of love. And please do not face cancer alone. Please, that is my doctor. And at this holiday season, this is a season that is like no other, where we have many that are in lockdown all over the world. And we don't want anybody to be facing this alone. There is a resource for them, cb4l.org, and come to the Facebook page and come to the group, the Chemo Buddies for Life community. That's Chemo Buddies for Life community, and join, because we are here for you, and we'll look forward to spending the holidays with you and so much more. So we're going to close by this, because tomorrow, Monday, is the Service Hero Show. Service Hero Show supports cb4l.org too. So here you go. A holiday wish from the Service Hero Show. And everybody, we will see you next Sunday. Have your mug ready to go, because we'll have another Tour of Love Sunday show. Bye, guys.
Bye.